Just last month, the 11 News I-Team discovered more than 3,700 untested rape kits sitting on police evidence shelves all across the state. Sexual assault survivors consider the reasons that police haven't tested them outrageous. 11 I-Team reporter David Collins investigates.
Being raped is a life sentence. You may learn how to cope with it, but the pain never goes away. And the fear that comes along with that never goes away.
Laura Newman spent nearly 2 decades living in fear as a survivor of an unsolved rape. 18 at the time and ready to change the world, Alfonso Hill, a total stranger, broke into her Baltimore City apartment through a window. He put a gun to her head and a pillow over her face. Laura recalls responding officers acting as if they didn't believe her.
The police didn't believe me. The police thought I knew the assailant. The police thought it was consensual. Well, not only did they not try, they dismissed it.
Her rape kit sat on an evidence shelf, never tested. 19 years later, after Laura convinced police to reopen the investigation, they discovered her rape kit had been destroyed.
I couldn't believe that. Why would you destroy evidence? We found out, in fact, there were still fingerprints.
Sadly, how police investigators treated Laura's case is still happening to others today. That claim is supported by 2015 legislation signed by the governor requiring police departments to report the number of untested sexual assault kits in their agencies. We obtained a copy of it through the Public Information Act request. Police departments report an astonishing total of 3,765 untested sexual assault collection kits statewide.
That's a lot of kits. And the policies about when do we test them and when do we decline to test them really need to be updated, re-examined, and modernized.
Lisa Jordan is Executive Director and Counsel for the Maryland Coalition Against Sexual Assault.
Many of the reasons that we used to think were good reasons to not test a kit, we've found out now that they're really not.
Montgomery County has 1,165 untested kits dating back to 1981. There are 871 in Baltimore City. Why not test them all?
There's a couple reasons why you don't and shouldn't. It's a resource draw. And on that draw, you end up with the inability to test other cases.
Plus, they cite FBI rules making some kits ineligible for a DNA database. The department now does a monthly audit of all lab requests, but still doesn't test all kits.
Detroit was in a very similar situation, and so they tested about 1,600 kits there. They found 127 serial rapists.
There are 503 untested kits in Howard County. They don't test if the survivor declines to prosecute. And Arundel County has 207 and doesn't test if the assailant is known to the victim.
Just because we know who the rapist is doesn't mean we shouldn't test the kit. We need to test that kit to find out, has that rapist raped someone else or been involved in some other crime?
Harford County reports 107 untested kits. Police cite in some cases, quote, the suspect admitted to consensual sex, end quote. Baltimore County has more than 100 untested kits. Chief Jim Johnson is reviewing 3 years of rape cases following complaints detectives were not investigating them. In Laura's case, fingerprints led to a confession, a conviction, and more.
And in my case, we found out later he was a serial rapist. He was one of the most prolific rapists in Maryland history. We know that now, and we wouldn't have known that had I not pursued the case. Every kit should be tested.
This survey is expected to generate significant change in the way police investigate rape cases and handle sexual assault collection kits. The state attorney general is using this data to generate a report and come up with some policy recommendations to the General Assembly by December 1st. For the 11 News I-Team, I'm David Collins.
Dave, thanks. Well, the state calls it a grim trend. 920 fatal opioid overdoses here in Maryland in just the first 6 months of this year. Helping to fight the opioid addiction epidemic, a new implantable drug. In October, 11 News I-Team reporter Lisa Robinson showed us how it works and how it could change lives.
So get your blood pressure on your left arm.
Nick Novak is about to undergo a life-changing procedure to treat his opioid addiction. Novak's descent into hell started in his early 20s, the way it has for so many others.
I got rear-ended and was prescribed Percocets. I went from taking it from back pain to just thinking like, oh, when I take that pill, it makes me feel good or extra energized, and then take some more.
And things snowballed out of control over the next several years until he got himself into treatment. For the last 7 years, Novak's treated his addiction with Suboxone. Its generic name is buprenorphine. On this day, he became the first person in Maryland to receive a new implant for opioid treatment. The FDA just approved Probufene in May.
The implant's going to be nice because it'll separate the daily task of having to take, a pill. You don't have to have your pills with you. You don't have to think about it.
Dr. Alan Geringer says there are many advantages to this form of treatment.
It's long-acting, it's a steady state.
The buprenorphine Novak had been taking works by blocking the effects of other opioids and suppresses withdrawal symptoms and cravings. The implant contains buprenorphine and is administered over 6 months.
Once it's implanted, it's not going to be abused. That's another advantage.
Probufene costs $4,950 for a 6-month course of treatment. For Novak, the cost was $1,000 with his insurance. He says this and other drugs should be there for people when they need them.
And if it's easier for people to get drugs off the street versus getting medical help, there's where the disconnect is. It's nothing to be ashamed of. If people have a problem, and they are willing to help themselves or need to get help, it should be readily available.
Dr. Geringer agrees. He is a urologist, which also means he's a surgeon. His reason for getting involved in drug treatment is highly personal.
My daughter Chelsea, and there's a picture of Chelsea, died of an accidental drug overdose.
Chelsea was 22. An autopsy found cocaine and heroin in her system. Her family had no clue about that part of her life. As a result of her death, Dr. Geringer got trained to treat people with buprenorphine and the Probufene implant.
I think that it gives me an opportunity to potentially save a life, save somebody's daughter, somebody's son, somebody's loved one.
He believes not enough is being done to help people in need.
It's much easier to prescribe Percocets and oxycodones than it is to treat these people. So every patient I save, that's a good thing.
A very good thing for Nick Novak.
It's a relief to have it. It's a lot of weight off my chest.
Lisa Robinson, WBAL TV 11 News.